Have you noticed that you're not as strong as you used to be? Maybe walking up the stairs feels harder, or lifting a grocery bag takes more effort than it once did. You might think, well, that's just part of getting older. But what if it's not? What if your body is missing something crucial? Something small, invisible, but powerful enough to silently steal your muscle strength day after day? The truth is, for many people over 60, muscle loss isn't just about age. It's about missing key vitamins that your muscles need to stay strong and active. Two of the most common and most overlooked are vitamin D and vitamin B12. These nutrients work behind the scenes, helping your muscles move, your nerves fire properly, and your energy levels stay steady. But when your body doesn't get enough of them, the results can be surprisingly serious. Fatigue, weakness, pain, even a higher risk of falls or losing your independence. And here's the catch. You might not even realize it's happening. In today's video, we're going to uncover how these silent deficiencies can gradually break down your muscles and what you can do to fight back. We'll share real-life warning signs, simple food choices that make a difference, and how to rebuild strength from the inside out. Whether you've been feeling off lately or you just want to stay ahead of the curve, this is information that every senior should know. Because the good news is, it's never too late to make a change. Your body may be whispering that something's missing, and today we're going to listen closely. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1. What happens to muscle after age 60? A few years ago, Mr. Harold, a retired school principal in his early 70s, began noticing small but troubling changes. Tasks he once handled with ease, carrying groceries, climbing the stairs, even getting out of his favorite recliner, started to feel like challenges. At first, he brushed it off as part of the normal aging process. "I'm just getting older," he'd tell himself. But deep down, he couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't quite right. His strength seemed to be fading, and no matter how much he tried to stay active, he felt like he was slowly losing a part of himself. What Harold didn't know at the time was that he was experiencing something called sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength that happens as we age. This condition affects nearly everyone after the age of 60, but it often goes unnoticed until it starts interfering with everyday life. And by the time most people become aware of it, they've already lost a significant amount of muscle. In fact, studies show that older adults can lose up to 3 to 8% of their muscle mass per decade, and the rate of loss accelerates even more after the age of 70. That means the muscles that once helped you stay balanced, walk confidently, and carry out daily tasks slowly shrink and weaken over time, often without warning. So why does this happen? There are several reasons. First, our bodies naturally begin to produce fewer muscle-building hormones, such as testosterone and growth hormone, as we age. This hormonal shift makes it harder for the body to maintain and rebuild muscle tissue. Second, many older adults consume less protein or have a harder time digesting and using it efficiently, which is essential for muscle repair and growth. Third, as physical activity levels drop, whether due to fatigue, joint pain, or mobility issues, muscles that aren't being used as much begin to atrophy. But perhaps the most overlooked reason for muscle loss in older adults is nutritional deficiency, particularly in key vitamins like vitamin D and vitamin B12. These two vitamins play a crucial role in maintaining not only bone health and energy, but also muscle function. When they are lacking, muscles become weaker, coordination is affected, and recovery from physical exertion slows down. Unfortunately, many seniors aren't aware they're deficient in these vitamins until they begin to experience symptoms like chronic fatigue, balance issues, unexplained muscle pain, or a noticeable loss of strength. And because these symptoms can be mistaken for just getting old, they often go untreated for years. Muscle loss doesn't only affect physical strength, it has a ripple effect throughout the entire body. With less muscle mass, metabolism slows down, making it easier to gain fat and harder to maintain a healthy weight. Weaker muscles also lead to reduced balance and coordination, which significantly increases the risk of falls and serious injuries. And since muscle tissue helps support the immune system and regulate blood sugar, its decline can contribute to chronic conditions like diabetes and increased inflammation. What many people don't realize is that your muscle health is deeply connected to your overall vitality and independence. But here's the empowering part. Muscle loss after 60 is not a life sentence. While some muscle loss is a natural part of aging, much of it can be prevented and even reversed through the right combination of exercise, protein intake, and targeted vitamin support. In particular, ensuring that your body has enough vitamin D and vitamin B12 can help your muscles stay active, coordinated, and strong well into your later years. Think about it. When was the last time you thought about what your muscles actually need to survive and thrive? Just like a car can't run without fuel, your muscles can't perform their job without the nutrients they rely on. The good news is, once you understand what's missing, you can take small but powerful steps to get it back. In the next part of this video, we're going to take a closer look at vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin. While most people know it's important for bones, very few realize how essential it is for muscle function, strength, and balance, especially as we age. We'll explore the signs of vitamin D deficiency, why older adults are more at risk, and how to start getting enough of it again. Don't miss this next section. What you learn could be the first step to regaining the strength you thought you'd lost forever. Number 2, the quiet role of vitamin D in muscle strength. A few months after Harold started noticing his muscles getting weaker, he visited his doctor for a routine checkup. Expecting to hear the usual advice about staying active and watching his diet, he was surprised when his doctor ordered a blood test to check his vitamin D levels. "I thought vitamin D was just for bones," Harold said. "Why would it affect my muscles?" That question opened the door to something he'd never considered before. That a quiet, invisible deficiency could be the reason he was feeling so weak. Vitamin D is often called the sunshine vitamin because our bodies produce it naturally when our skin is exposed to sunlight. It helps the body absorb calcium, keeps bones strong, and supports immune health. But what many people don't know is that vitamin D also plays a critical role in muscle strength and function, especially as we get older. In fact, vitamin D receptors are found in skeletal muscle tissue, meaning that your muscles literally listen for vitamin D to help them function properly. When you don't get enough vitamin D, your muscles can become weak, stiff, and slow to respond. This doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual decline that can be easy to miss. You might feel more tired than usual. You might notice you don't walk as steadily, or that your legs feel wobbly after a short walk. Or you may experience muscle cramps or aches that don't seem to go away. These symptoms can easily be dismissed as just aging, but in many cases, they are your body's way of signaling that something is missing. The link between low vitamin D and falls in older adults is well documented. Several studies have shown that seniors with low levels of vitamin D are more likely to experience falls, fractures, and hospitalizations due to muscle weakness and poor coordination. One study even found that vitamin D supplementation could improve balance and reduce fall risk in seniors who were previously deficient. This is powerful proof that vitamin D isn't just about bones. It's about staying upright, staying active, and staying independent. But why are older adults more at risk of vitamin D deficiency? There are several reasons. First, as we age, our skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. We also tend to spend less time outdoors, especially in colder months or if mobility is limited. On top of that, certain medical conditions, such as kidney disease or gastrointestinal issues, can interfere with how vitamin D is processed and absorbed in the body. Even medications like steroids or antacids can reduce vitamin D levels over time. The challenge is that vitamin D deficiency often has no obvious symptoms at first. That's why many seniors don't realize their muscles are suffering until the problem becomes more severe. The only reliable way to know your levels is through a simple blood test, which your doctor can easily request. If your levels are low, the solution may be as simple as getting more sunlight, changing your diet, or taking a supplement. But it starts with awareness. So what can you do to support your muscles with vitamin D? First, aim to spend 10 to 20 minutes in the sun each day, if possible, with some skin exposed. But don't rely on sunshine alone, especially if you live in northern climates or have limited mobility. Include vitamin D-rich foods in your meals, like fatty fish, salmon, sardines, egg yolks, fortified dairy or plant-based milks, and fortified cereals. For many older adults, a daily vitamin D supplement is necessary to reach healthy levels. But always talk to your doctor before starting one, especially if you're on medications. Timing also matters. Taking your vitamin D with a meal that contains fat, like avocado, olive oil, or eggs, can help your body absorb it more effectively. And consistency is key. It's not about taking a huge dose once in a while, but about building and maintaining healthy levels over time. Here's something inspiring to remember. Vitamin D is one of the easiest deficiencies to fix, and doing so can have a dramatic impact on how strong, stable, and energized you feel. It's a small change that can lead to big improvements in quality of life. So let me ask you, when was the last time you had your vitamin D checked? In the next section, we're going to go even deeper and explore the specific warning signs of vitamin D deficiency that many people overlook. These signs often show up long before a doctor diagnoses a problem. And if you know what to look for, you can catch it early and start turning things around before your strength slips away. Number 3, signs you might be low in vitamin D. After Harold's doctor told him he had low vitamin D, he started reflecting on the past few months with a completely new lens. The fatigue that made him nap twice a day, the occasional muscle cramps in his calves, the awkward stumble he had on the porch step, they had all felt like isolated incidents. Nothing seemed urgent on its own, but now they fit together like puzzle pieces pointing to one clear problem: a hidden deficiency that had been quietly weakening his muscles, his balance, and his energy. The truth is, vitamin D deficiency doesn't always scream for attention. It whispers. It builds slowly, subtly, and often gets mistaken for something else. Just getting older, a bad night's sleep, or I must have moved the wrong way. But those small signs can actually be your body's early warning system. If we learn to listen, we can catch the problem before it steals more of our strength and independence. One of the most common signs is muscle weakness, especially in the legs, hips, or lower back. You might notice that walking feels more tiring than it used to, or that standing up from a chair takes a little more effort. It's not that you're in pain exactly. It's more like your muscles just don't feel as powerful. Some people describe it as a sense of heaviness, like their legs are dragging behind them. This weakness can also show up as slower reaction times, which is one reason vitamin D deficiency is strongly linked to an increased risk of falls in older adults. Another red flag is unexplained fatigue. If you're sleeping well but still feel like you're running on empty, your cells may not be producing energy as efficiently as they should. Vitamin D helps with energy metabolism, and without enough of it, your body can feel like it's constantly running uphill. That kind of deep tiredness isn't fixed by another cup of coffee. It's your body telling you that something is off at a foundational level. You might also notice balance issues, like swaying when you stand up, feeling dizzy when you turn too quickly, or stumbling more often than usual. This happens because vitamin D isn't just a bone vitamin. It plays a role in how your muscles and nerves communicate. When it's low, those messages don't travel as smoothly, which affects your coordination and stability. Some people feel muscle cramps or soreness, especially in the legs, back, or shoulders. Others may experience mood changes, a general sense of sadness, irritability, or even anxiety that seems to come out of nowhere. These emotional shifts are often overlooked, but studies have shown a clear connection between vitamin D deficiency and depressive symptoms in older adults. Your brain, like your muscles, has vitamin D receptors, and when they're not being fed, it can affect how you feel, both physically and mentally. Another symptom that sneaks in quietly is getting sick more often than usual. Vitamin D is essential for immune health, and low levels can make you more vulnerable to colds, infections, and slower healing times. You might not realize it, but your ability to recover from illness, or even avoid getting sick in the first place, depends in part on how much vitamin D your body has available. Even bone or joint discomfort can be a hidden sign. Many seniors assume that pain in the knees, hips, or lower back is simply arthritis. But sometimes what feels like a joint issue is actually the result of weak muscles pulling unevenly on bones, or bones that aren't getting enough vitamin D to stay strong and stable. All of these signs, tiredness, weakness, balance problems, mood shifts, and recurring illness, can feel like separate, unrelated annoyances. But taken together, they often point to the same root cause. Your body is missing something it needs to function at its best. And because the symptoms develop gradually, many people don't seek help until they experience a fall, a fracture, or a sharp decline in mobility or energy. The good news is that vitamin D deficiency is both easy to detect and easy to treat. A simple blood test can measure your 25-hydroxyvitamin D levels and tell your doctor exactly where you stand. If you're low, your doctor can guide you through a plan that includes more sunlight exposure, a better diet, and, if necessary, supplements that are safe and effective. Just a little more vitamin D each day can help restore your energy, support your muscles, and give you back the confidence that comes with feeling stable and strong again. So if you've been brushing off your tiredness, ignoring that shaky feeling in your legs, or blaming your sluggishness on age, it might be time to pause and ask yourself a simple but important question. What if this isn't aging? What if this is something I can fix? In the next part of this video, we'll talk about the foods that naturally boost your vitamin D levels and how small changes in your meals can support your strength from the inside out. You don't have to guess anymore. We're going to show you what works and why. Number 4, foods that help rebuild your vitamin D levels. When Harold found out that his vitamin D levels were low, his doctor gave him a gentle nudge. You can take a supplement, of course, she said, but you can also start with your plate. That suggestion caught his attention. After all, Harold had always believed in the power of good food and home-cooked meals, so he began his journey of rebuilding strength, not at the gym, but in the kitchen. While sunshine is a natural and powerful source of vitamin D, it's often not enough, especially for older adults. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at making vitamin D from sunlight. We also tend to spend more time indoors, avoid direct sun exposure, or live in areas where the sun just isn't strong enough during the colder months. That's why food becomes a vital second source, one that we can control every single day, one meal at a time. The most effective and natural source of vitamin D in the diet is fatty fish. Just a few servings per week of fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, or tuna can provide a powerful boost. For example, a 3-ounce piece of cooked salmon can contain around 600 to 700 IU of vitamin D. That's already close to the daily amount many seniors need. These fish also offer omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation and support joint and heart health, making them an all-around muscle-supporting superstar. Another simple and affordable option is eggs, specifically the yolks. While the whites are mostly protein, the yolks contain small but meaningful amounts of vitamin D, along with healthy fats that help your body absorb it. Harold began adding 2 boiled eggs to his breakfast routine a few times a week. And not only did he feel more energized, but he also enjoyed the satisfying taste of something familiar and wholesome. But what about those who don't eat much fish or eggs? That's where fortified foods come in. Many common products like milk, both dairy and non-dairy options like almond, soy, and oat milk, are often fortified with vitamin D. Fortified orange juice and certain cereals can also help fill in the gap. The key is to read labels carefully. Harold learned to avoid sugary cereals and instead chose low-sugar, high-fiber ones with added vitamin D and whole grains. That small shift made a big difference in how steady his energy felt throughout the morning. For a more plant-based approach, mushrooms, especially varieties like portobello or maitake, can offer some vitamin D when they're grown in sunlight or exposed to UV light. While they don't contain as much as fish, they can still add variety and gentle support to your diet. Harold started adding sautéed mushrooms to his soups and omelets, turning simple meals into something both delicious and nutritious. And then there's an old remedy that's making a comeback: cod liver oil. It may not sound appealing, but it's one of the most concentrated food sources of vitamin D. Just 1 teaspoon can provide more than 400 IU, along with omega-3s and vitamin A. Harold wasn't fond of the taste, so he asked his pharmacist about odorless capsules, and they worked just fine. For many seniors who have trouble getting enough vitamin D from food alone, this traditional supplement still holds great value. What's important to remember is that vitamin D is fat-soluble, which means it absorbs better when taken with a meal that includes healthy fats, like olive oil, avocado, or nuts. Harold made a habit of having his vitamin D-rich foods alongside heart-healthy fats, like a slice of whole-grain toast with peanut butter or a salad dressed with olive oil. These small combinations help the body absorb more and waste less. Changing your diet doesn't have to be overwhelming. In fact, it can be simple, delicious, and even comforting. Rebuilding your strength through food is one of the most natural and empowering steps you can take. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need a complete diet overhaul. Just adding a few smart, consistent choices each week can begin to restore what your muscles have been missing. So if you've been feeling weaker, more tired, or off balance lately, your next step might be as easy as rethinking what's on your plate. In the next part of this video, we'll explore another powerful but often overlooked nutrient that works hand in hand with vitamin D, vitamin B12. We'll discover how it protects your nerves, supports your strength, and why so many older adults are dangerously low without even knowing it. Stay with me. This next part could be the missing key you've been searching for. Number 5. Why vitamin B12 matters for muscle and nerve health. Just when Harold thought he had a handle on vitamin D, his doctor brought up another essential nutrient that he had barely thought about: vitamin B12. At first, he was surprised. "Isn't that something younger people worry about?" he asked. But what he didn't realize was that vitamin B12 deficiency is one of the most common yet most underdiagnosed health issues in older adults, and it plays a critical role in muscle strength, nerve health, and overall energy. Vitamin B12, also known as cobalamin, is like a quiet workhorse in the body. It helps produce red blood cells, supports the nervous system, and plays a vital role in how your muscles and nerves communicate. Without enough B12, messages from your brain can't reach your muscles efficiently. Over time, this can lead to symptoms that feel subtle at first, like tingling in your hands or feet, occasional imbalance, or mild forgetfulness, but can quickly snowball into something much more serious, like muscle weakness, memory problems, and even difficulty walking. The connection between vitamin B12 and muscle health is especially important. Your muscles don't act on their own. They rely on nerve signals to tell them when and how to move. Vitamin B12 helps maintain the protective covering around your nerves, known as the myelin sheath. When B12 levels are low, that protection breaks down, causing misfires between the brain and body. That's why a person with B12 deficiency might feel weak or uncoordinated, even though their muscles themselves haven't changed. It's like trying to drive a car with loose wires in the engine. Things just don't work the way they should. Unfortunately, the risk of vitamin B12 deficiency increases significantly after age 60. That's because our bodies become less efficient at absorbing it from food. The process requires a special protein in the stomach called intrinsic factor, and production of that protein decreases with age. In addition, common medications used by older adults, such as antacids, metformin, or medications for acid reflux, can further block absorption. This means that even if you're eating the right foods, your body may not be getting what it needs. Harold's doctor explained it this way: you may be eating enough B12, but your body just isn't unlocking it. That made a lot of sense. Harold had noticed more stiffness in his legs, occasional numbness in his toes, and the frustrating feeling that his mind wasn't quite as sharp as it used to be. Now he had a clear reason why. So where can you get B12 naturally? It's found mainly in animal-based foods. Beef liver is one of the richest sources, but many people prefer more familiar options like eggs, milk, yogurt, tuna, sardines, chicken, and lean beef. For those who follow a vegetarian or vegan diet, it can be more challenging. That's why fortified foods such as plant-based milks, cereals, and nutritional yeast are so important for B12 intake in those cases. But for many seniors, especially those with absorption issues, diet alone may not be enough. In these cases, a doctor may recommend B12 supplements. either as daily tablets or, in more severe cases, as injections that bypass the digestive system entirely. These injections can lead to quick improvements in energy, mental clarity, and even physical strength within just a few weeks. Harold chose to start with a daily sublingual, under-the-tongue, B12 supplement and noticed a difference within the first month. Less tingling in his feet, more clarity when reading, and a general sense that he was back in the driver's seat of his health. What makes vitamin B12 so remarkable is how much it supports, yet how quietly it slips through the cracks. Because it isn't stored in large amounts in the body, and because the signs of deficiency can mimic other conditions like aging, arthritis, or even dementia, it often gets missed. But once identified, it's highly treatable. And better yet, correcting a deficiency can bring back not just your strength, but your confidence, focus, and vitality. If you've ever felt like your balance is a little off, or like your hands and feet don't feel quite right, if you've had moments of forgetfulness or feel more tired than usual, it might not just be age catching up to you. It might be vitamin B12 quietly slipping away. So ask yourself, have I been checked for B12 lately? In the next section, we'll go deeper into the symptoms of B12 deficiency, how to recognize them, what they feel like, and why they're so often ignored or misdiagnosed. This information could be the turning point in reclaiming your physical and mental strength. Let's keep going. Number 6, symptoms of B12 deficiency that are easy to miss. By the time Harold had been taking his vitamin B12 supplement for a few weeks, he started to notice subtle but meaningful changes. His legs didn't feel as heavy in the morning. The numbness in his toes that had come and gone for months was beginning to fade. His mind felt sharper. Not perfect, but clearer. "It's like I'm waking up from a fog I didn't know I was in," he told his wife one morning. And that's the thing about vitamin B12 deficiency. Its symptoms sneak in so gradually that you might not even realize how far you've drifted until you start feeling like yourself again. Unlike a cold or a broken bone, B12 deficiency rarely announces itself with a single, obvious sign. Instead, it shows up quietly. A little tingling here, a little tiredness there, and gets brushed aside as part of normal aging. But make no mistake, these symptoms are your body's way of sounding an alarm. And the earlier you listen, the more strength and clarity you can preserve. One of the earliest and most overlooked signs is tingling or numbness in the hands, feet, or legs. This pins and needles sensation can come and go or feel like a persistent, dull numbness. It happens because B12 is essential for healthy nerve function. When your nerves don't get enough of it, the signals from your brain to your body start to break down, especially in your extremities. You may even find yourself dropping things more often or feeling unsteady when walking. Another red flag is poor balance or coordination. If you've caught yourself stumbling or swaying when you walk, or if your footing just doesn't feel as sure as it used to, don't ignore it. Many seniors chalk this up to aging joints or weak legs, but often it's a deeper problem. Your muscles and nerves are simply not communicating well. In severe cases, people with prolonged B12 deficiency may have trouble walking entirely. But that kind of damage can often be prevented or reversed if caught early. Then there's fatigue, not just the kind that makes you yawn, but the kind that settles into your bones and makes everything feel like an effort. This happens because B12 is vital for making red blood cells, which carry oxygen throughout your body. Without enough of it, your body can't get the oxygen it needs to produce energy. You might feel winded after light activity or find it hard to stay focused on a task. You might even sleep more, only to wake up still feeling drained. Memory problems and mood changes are also common and often misattributed to aging or even early dementia. Low B12 can cause forgetfulness, confusion, and difficulty concentrating. Some people report feeling anxious or depressed without understanding why. That's because B12 also plays a role in producing chemicals in the brain that regulate mood and mental clarity. When those levels drop, so does your emotional resilience. There's also the matter of muscle weakness. You might feel like your grip has gotten weaker, or that everyday tasks like lifting a pot or carrying a laundry basket are harder than they used to be. Again, this isn't just about your muscles losing strength on their own. It's that the nerves controlling those muscles aren't getting the support they need. Without B12, even well-maintained muscles can start to feel weak or sluggish. One of the more surprising signs is glossitis, a swollen, inflamed tongue that may look unusually smooth or red. It might be tender, make food taste different, or even cause difficulty swallowing. Alongside this, some people notice mouth ulcers or a burning sensation in the mouth, both of which can signal nutritional deficiencies, especially of B12. Another subtle but telling clue is vision changes. B12 deficiency can damage the optic nerve, leading to blurred vision, sensitivity to light, or trouble focusing. While rare, this symptom is serious and should never be ignored. The difficult part is that these symptoms often don't show up all at once. They may come in waves or overlap with other age-related concerns. That's why it's so important to trust your instincts. If something feels off, if your energy is low, your balance is shaky, or your memory isn't what it used to be, don't just accept it as a normal part of growing older. Ask questions, get your levels checked. A simple blood test can determine if your vitamin B12 is low, and the treatment is typically straightforward. Oral supplements, under-the-tongue tablets, or in some cases, B12 injections. Many people notice an improvement within weeks. Others feel gradual, steady progress over several months. But most importantly, once your body has what it needs, you can start feeling stronger, more stable, and more mentally clear. So take a moment to check in with yourself. Have you had any of these symptoms lately? Do any of them feel familiar, like they've been building quietly in the background? In the next part of this video, we'll talk about how to boost your vitamin B12 naturally through food, supplements, and simple daily habits. You'll see just how easy it can be to support your muscles, nerves, and mind, all by giving your body what it's been asking for all along. Number 7, best ways to boost vitamin B12. Naturally, after understanding how vitamin B12 deficiency had been quietly affecting his strength and balance, Harold felt something he hadn't felt in a while. Hope. Not the vague kind, but the practical, empowering kind that comes when you realize there's something you can do. He wasn't powerless. He could take action. And it started with the choices he made in his kitchen, at the pharmacy, and even at his breakfast table. If you're wondering how to boost your vitamin B12 levels naturally, the good news is that there are simple and effective ways to do it, even if you've been low for a long time. It's not about drastic diets or complicated routines. It's about small, steady habits that nourish your body and restore what it's been quietly missing. The first and most direct way to get more B12 is through your diet. Vitamin B12 is found naturally in animal-based foods, especially those that are rich in protein. Beef liver tops the list. Just one bite-sized piece contains far more B12 than most people need in a day. But if liver isn't your thing, don't worry. There are plenty of familiar foods to turn to. Tuna, salmon, sardines, and trout are all excellent sources of B12, and they offer added benefits like omega-3 fatty acids, which support brain and heart health. Harold started keeping small cans of tuna in the pantry and enjoyed them in sandwiches or salads a few times a week. Eggs, especially the yolks, are another accessible and affordable source. He often had a couple of hard-boiled eggs for breakfast or sliced into his lunch. Milk, cheese, and plain yogurt also offer steady doses of B12, and they pair well with other healthy foods for balanced meals. If you follow a vegetarian or mostly plant-based diet, it becomes a little trickier, but not impossible. That's where fortified foods come in. Many breakfast cereals, nutritional yeasts, plant-based milks like soy, almond, or oat milk, and meat substitutes are fortified with B12. Look for items labeled B12 fortified and check the nutrition panel to make sure you're getting at least 20 to 30% of your daily value per serving. Nutritional yeast, in particular, is a favorite among vegetarians. It has a cheesy flavor and can be sprinkled on popcorn, vegetables, or pasta for a nutritious boost. Still, even with a good diet, many older adults need a little extra help. That's because as we age, our bodies don't absorb B12 from food as efficiently as they once did. This is especially true if you take medications for acid reflux, diabetes, or high blood pressure, as they can interfere with B12 absorption over time. That's why B12 supplements are often recommended for people over 60, not as a last resort, but as a reliable backup plan. There are a few different types of B12 supplements available. Sublingual tablets, which dissolve under your tongue, are popular because they bypass the digestive system and go straight into the bloodstream. They're affordable, easy to take, and widely available at pharmacies and grocery stores. Harold found a cherry-flavored version that made it feel more like a treat than a chore. For more serious deficiencies, B12 injections may be prescribed by your doctor. These are especially helpful for people with absorption issues or very low levels, and they can lead to fast improvements in energy, mood, and strength. Some people start with injections and then switch to oral supplements for maintenance. Your doctor will help you decide what's best based on your blood work and health history. It's also worth noting that B12 is water-soluble, which means your body uses what it needs and flushes out the rest. So there's little risk of overdosing. Still, more isn't always better. Aim to get the right amount regularly, rather than taking large doses inconsistently. For most seniors, 250 to 500 micrograms daily from food and supplements combined is a safe and effective range. But always consult your healthcare provider before starting anything new. Harold made it part of his morning routine. A balanced breakfast with eggs or yogurt, followed by his under-the-tongue B12 tablet. It became as normal as brushing his teeth, and within a few weeks he could feel the difference. His steps felt steadier, his thoughts felt clearer, and most importantly, he felt more like himself again. There's something deeply reassuring about knowing that you can rebuild what's been quietly lost. Not by doing something extreme, but by simply giving your body the nourishment it's been waiting for. B12 may be a small nutrient, but its impact is mighty. With a few mindful changes, you can support your muscles, protect your nerves, and revive your energy from the inside out. In the final part of this video, we'll bring it all together. A summary of what we've learned, and a gentle reminder that no matter your age, your body still responds to care, attention, and the right support. Let's wrap it up together. Conclusion. So here we are. We've taken a quiet but powerful journey through two of the most essential nutrients for aging well: vitamin D and vitamin B12. Along the way, we've uncovered how deficiencies in these vitamins can silently steal your strength, your energy, your balance, and even your sense of self. But we've also discovered something far more important. These losses are not irreversible. You now know that what may have felt like just getting older, the muscle weakness, the fatigue, the forgetfulness, the unsteady steps, might actually have been your body's way of asking for help. And the best part, that help is within reach. Sometimes it's in a piece of salmon at dinner, a few minutes in the morning sun, or a tiny tablet under your tongue. It's in simple changes that add up to something life-changing. Getting older doesn't mean giving up strength. It means learning to support your body in new and better ways. Your muscles, your nerves, your energy, they're all still there, waiting to respond when you give them the right kind of care. And that care starts with awareness. By understanding how essential vitamin D and B12 are to your health, you're already taking the first most important step toward a stronger, steadier, more energized you. So take a moment today to reflect. Have you had your levels checked? Are you giving your body what it needs? Even one small change can begin to shift everything. You deserve to feel strong, clear-minded, and confident in your movements. Not just because you're still living life, but because you're living it well. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you found this information helpful, eye-opening, and encouraging. And if you did, please consider sharing it with someone you care about. We're all walking this journey of aging together. And sometimes all it takes is the right knowledge to make that journey lighter, stronger, and filled with more hope. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and be kind to your body. It's never too late to feel better. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and haven't yet liked and subscribed, now is the perfect time to do so. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who need this kind of helpful content. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll always know when a new video is up. Your support truly means the world to us. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.